So how do you set boundaries in an open relationship? I'm going to share with you two concepts that will really enlighten you and a bunch of examples, a range of examples, some radical, that will help you grasp how to set boundaries in your relationships. The two concepts that you need to appreciate and become enlightened by is firstly, a relationship is how people, how entities interact and interface. And relationships have unique dynamics, and there are no relationship between entities which are the same. Every relationship is unique because every dynamic in that relationship is unique. The reason why is because there are individuals in that relationships, and by definition, each individual is individual, meaning each individual is unique and will therefore cause a different dynamic in every relationship between entities. There are no relationship between people which are alike or the same, and often they're completely radical, even when you have so much commonality with another person. This will become very important when it comes to setting boundaries. And I'm going to make it very simple for you to understand so you can set boundaries easily in your relationship. Now going back, these unique individuals have their own things that they have their own particular wants, likes, desires, preferences. Wants, likes, desires, preferences. Each individual has these four things. And the thing that I want to point out in this video is their particular desires. And these desires have four aspects of the desires. You ready? The four aspects of their desires are they desire it, they're willing to explore it, they're definitely don't want to explore it, they don't desire it. And finally, number four, they definitely want no part of that thing, that activity. So four parts of desires. They desire it, they want to explore it, or they're willing to explore it. They do not desire it. And finally, number four, the opposite of the desire is wanting no part of it. I'm going to leave this alone for now, but this will become very important when you set boundaries. Remember the concept. Each relationship is unique because by definition it's contained within it individuals which are in relation to each other, creating their own dynamic, and by definition each individual will have their own unique particular wants, likes, desires, preferences. Desires having four aspects to it. They have desire for it, they're willing to explore it, they have no desire for it, and they definitely don't want any part of it. So remember that as we move on to the second concept being all of communication is a negotiation. All of communication is a negotiation. Every time you speak, you are negotiating. At the very least, at the very fundamental, the very base level of your communication, you're negotiating for someone's attention. My communicating with you right now, I'm negotiating always for your attention. Because I respect you, honor you, and I do not take you for granted. I'm communicating with you something which either piques your interest or you are interested in, and that is a negotiation. I'm not taking your attention for granted, which is what a lot of people do, and I'm going to go into that. So do you understand? All of communication is a negotiation. What fundamentally happens in a relationship? Well, let me leave that alone. When you're communicating with people, there is nothing that says that they need to pay you attention. Except for a lot of people have have social shame or social guilt or social pressure to pay someone attention because someone is flapping their lips. When someone's talking, the person talking presumes, often, take for granted that people will listen because they're making noises, they're making sound. but there is nothing that merits that attention. So imagine that there are a lot of people that take attention for granted without negotiating for that attention. Now, this is not hard to do. Negotiating is not hard to do. And this is especially more dangerous in a relationship. Did you hear what I just said? It's more dangerous in a relationship. Here's why. Because your partner loves and admires and adores you, they will pay you attention when you speak. To understand whether or not you merit their attention. Now, but because you love them, you admire them, you honor them, and respect them, you will negotiate, you'll honor them enough to negotiate for their attention, right? That's not what most people do. Because their partner grants them attention, because they like them, they adore them, they love communicating with them, the person who communicates presumes the attention is granted already. So inevitably what happens in a relationship is each person inevitably takes the attention of the other person for granted. Do you remember what is the death knell of every loving relationship? The death knell of every loving relationship is each party's taking each other for granted. So we're going to leave that alone for now. We're going to go back. How do you set boundaries in your relationship? Negotiation is very easy. It's simply saying, hey baby. When you get a contract of appreciation, meaning they answer yes, now you have a contract of appreciation. Now you know that they're prepared to hear. And until you get that contract of appreciation, that they're communicating in a way that, hey, I'm going to appreciate what you're going to say next. Go ahead. Okay, I have 2.5 minutes. Then you've got a contract of appreciation. All of communication is a negotiation. Understand that, number 2, that people have their particular wants, likes, desires. And desires have things that I'm willing to explore, things I am desirable of, things I do not desire, and things I'm definitely not willing to be any part of. Now, how do you negotiate boundaries? It's very simple. Are you ready? I don't have time to give you examples anymore. I'll do it in a different video. It's as simple as saying, hey baby, what are the things that you desire? What are things that you're willing to explore? Are you willing to explore this? I'm particularly into this thing. Well, unfortunately, the camera battery died, but I'm going to continue on here. Where were we? It's as simple as communicating with your partner or partners what their desires are, what they're willing to explore, what they don't have a desire of doing, and what they definitely want no part of. Savvy? Because all of communication is a negotiation. You are negotiating via your communication. It's as simple as sounding like, hey baby, what sorts of things are you into? What sorts of things do you desire? Are you willing to explore this? Or are you not willing to explore? I'm particularly into this, but you may not be into it, and that's completely okay. I just want to know how you feel about it. Is it something you're willing to explore with me? Is it something you're willing to try out? What sorts of things are you really put off by? I would love to know. And what sorts of things do you want no part of? By you're getting their answers and you're communicating, okay, so I'm not going to be delving into those things, and I want to encourage you to communicate with me. If there's anything that I do or we explore together and you want no part of it, please let me know so we can know the boundaries. And this applies to everything, not just merely sexual activities, everything, everyday daily occurrences, habits, activities, anything can be communicated and said, is this something you're into or not into or want no part of, or something you're willing to try out?